My goodness. Hello, Chaos Time. Welcome to Hello, Chaos, the weekly podcast um, exploring the messy and chaotic lives and minds of founders, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Every week, we talk to entrepreneurs from different industries at different company levels and stages of all shapes and sizes. And we hear the real, raw, and unbiased founder stories. And it's why our mantra is where aha meets oh shit. We drop new episodes every Sunday. Founders usually listen to us on a Sunday afternoon as they prep for the week, or really our biggest downloads are Monday morning. Sounds like people listen to us on their way into work. But however you get us, you can find us on all the podcast platforms. HelloCast is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That is OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities through hyperlocal media platforms that have been designed to inform, inspire, and create connections so that founders can succeed. OrangeWIP is an all-in-one content hub with fresh and engaging stories, curated calendars, and local dynamic roadmaps to navigate the local entrepreneurial ecosystem. That's a mouthful. The entrepreneurial ecosystem, big words. We've done all the hard work for founders, so they only need to go to really one trusted place to find the local information they need. Every market needs an OrangeWIP. We fuel the city. My name is Jennifer Sutton. My friends and family call me JJ. I'm the founder of OrangeWIP and will be your host today. And we have Laura Biggerstaff, the founder of Iron Elk. Welcome to the chaos,
I am
Laura.
so excited. Great
I'm
to
so
see
glad
you.
you're here. And you know, we've had our own little journey of we were just on a panel with one of the local cities here, City of Greer, and you know, founder stories from the trenches. And I was telling you, like, they were like, we want to take the Hello Chaos theme that you guys talk about, the where aha meets oh shit, and you know, really all the founder journeys, and get those real stories out there. But you and I met actually, what, a couple of years ago, because you and I both are graduates of a minority business accelerator here in our area. So I'm excited to. I've watched your journey, but I didn't really know your journey until we sat on that panel. So for everybody, all of our listeners, just tell us about how you got started, because it's a fantastic story.
Oh, thank you so much. And like I said a few minutes ago, I had a great time on the panel with you.
we we
And
had a
it's
good.
like, I don't care that there's all these people in the room.
That's
We're
right.
just pouring our hearts out. We're
Uh,
raw. And
uh,
yeah, we had a
telling
great
it like it is. I know. I just had lunch with Dave with Remedy, who was our
yeah,
other panel, and he was like, "I had so much fun. We should do that. We should do like a stage roadshow."
exactly. I
I
think
was
we'd
like,
be the first volunteers for that.
"That's right. That's right. That was so good." But yeah, tell us how you founded Iron Elk, and what does Iron Elk do for everybody that doesn't know what your business is?
Well, I, at the crazy age of 58, was faced with a divorce that was unexpected, and I had to make a decision whether to choose to stay in my bed, go into a deep depression, and live there for the rest of my life, or I could happily, actually, I could actually try to learn something new. So I looked at the things I thought uh, I was good at. One of them was, of course, caring for customers, and sales was great. That just came naturally. And I also had experience in the apparel, fire related apparel
Okay.
manufacturer. So I kind of put all that together and thought, I might could do this. So along with my son Thomas, started Iron Elk, and I started learning things, learned how to create a website, learned how to effectively be on social media. And effectively, I'm on Facebook and I'm on LinkedIn. I don't have a clue about the other ones. I've got it set up so that my posts go different places, but for me to see where they are out in the world, I don't have a clue. But yeah, I learned the accounting of it, with starting with QuickBooks, learned the ins and outs of that. The MBA program, the Minority Business Accelerator
Mhm.
program that we both were in with the chamber was that was eye opening because the financials part of it was something I was definitely not
Yeah.
good at. Still, I'm not good at it.
The language of math and numbers.
Not a clue.
I know. It is but it's so important. Like
It is. It is. It I go in and I check every couple of days what my profit loss is
Mhm.
and my balance sheet says, and I still got a heck of a lot to learn, but I'm getting there. So I put all this information together and I thought, well, maybe I could become a distributor for safety apparel.
Yeah.
And I started building up my relationships with manufacturers across the country and started becoming very, very familiar with what they had to offer, the different standards that of safety that have to be in these products. And I was actually at a networking event where I had a friend ask me, why don't they make PPE for women? Personal protective equipment is what PPE stands for.
Right.
And I just like, oh my gosh, I've got to research this. So I went home and I thought, there really is not a lot
Right.
out there.
Not a very inclusive category.
Not inclusive at all.
Uh,
Basically, if you're on a construction site or some place where you have to wear safety apparel, you're getting the smaller size down of a men's safety jacket or
Right.
safety pants. And men and women are just not built the same.
Right.
So within the manufacturers that I had been working with, I really focused in on those who were recognizing that this is a problem,
Mm-hmm.
and they started to offer women's cuts. And
Who'd
that's
have thought? Like in
what I
the,
thought. I don't know. But anyway, that's and I've made it a point to make sure that women know that there are alternatives out there for the safety apparel. There are manufacturers that are starting to listen. Got a long way to go, but
Right.
we're getting there. And just make sure that I give the feedback to the manufacturers if something just does not fit and they said, well, I'm sorry, that's a 2XL in a woman's size, and you put it on and you can't even close it, something's off.
That's right.
So, I like giving manufacturers that feedback as well, just to get them to take another look at it.
Right.
So I've been very, very supportive of women in the trades. And I love being able to solve a pain point that they have, and that's safety apparel.
Yeah. So I just love that. And what's been the most rewarding part of your journey?
That I didn't choose to go to bed.
That's fantastic. That you were like, you know what? I'm gonna get up and do something.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to choose that. It is as night and day as that.
Oh, wow.
I think my kids are proud of me. My friends certainly are. My family is. And I just, in that state of shock and uncertainty and fear,
Yeah.
to be completely honest, all of a sudden I'm alone.
Right.
To just pick it up and say, well, I'm going to learn how to do something. And it's anybody can do it if they get that right mindset.
Right.
To learn, and don't skip over things. Learn it,
Learn it.
Google it, YouTube it, whatever.
Go to the resources in your market. Like, you did the
Exactly.
minority business. I was talking to, I'm now a coach for that program, and
Fantastic.
listening to all the the different coaches, and it's interesting. You mean you just pointed like that mindset is so important, because we've seen people that come through that program, and they're having people like me and others, that they're taking their time out of their day to coach somebody, to be there, to be available. The MBA, it's not like regular school, it's on your business. And somebody was like, you got to be in the right mindset of nobody's going to do the work for you. Like, you've
No.
got to do the work, but it's teaching you how to apply it to benefit yourself.
Well, let me tell you something.
And it's still like some people don't see it that way. It's still there's this mindset challenge. We've got to, push people in to go, these things are here for you. So the fact that you just said, I'm not going to be in bed. I'm going to do something. I'm going to create something. I'm going to take that risk
It
and,
is such a risk.
and do it. But
And,
yeah.
When I look back to where I was, at age 58, I'm 62 now. And just the thought process from the first, kind of putting things together. One of the things that I found out, and it took me several years to find this out, but you can't offer everything to everybody.
That's right.
So it's been a process of just funneling down, the things. I at one point, I sold industrial floor mats and was selling safety apparel, and and doing digital marketing for folks. And I'm like, I got to do one thing right.
Right.
And what has happened through that funnel is I've been really able to focus, on one specific thing. Do it well. I'm working less, actually, because I'm working smarter.
Right.
And so it's been wonderful. And I was going to tell you, I had my aha moment about 2 weeks ago. So 3 other of the MBA folks that were in my
were in your cohort. Okay.
We met for lunch.
Okay. Great.
And we hadn't seen each other in a year or so. And we just sat there. We were all really nervous. All as well. We did it during COVID, so we never got to meet in person. It was all online.
Yeah.
And so that, we were really getting to know each other. And Tawana Gross is just, I think maybe you have interviewed her.
I haven't.
Recently.
Yeah.
You haven't? No, she's fantastic. Well, we were all sitting there and, just talking about the MBA program and what it's done for us. And I think we all agree we're nowhere near where we need to be,
right,
but we've sure gotten the tools to get there. And I said, you know what, guys? I said, do y'all remember on our it's called an SGAP?
That's right. And for listeners that don't know, that program, it's the end deliverable that the cohort is supposed to deliver is called the SGAT. It's a strategic growth action plan. So it's like a 3-year, literally a roadmap, a blueprint for how do you go from point A to point B, whatever that is for your business. So you guys were talking about the SGAP.
We were, and we talked about the fact that we refer back to it quite often, and because it is that roadmap, and some might think, well, you do this program, and then you've done it, made some new connections, and you put it to the side, but you really don't. Right. You go back, you use it. It's kind of a benchmark for you as to where you were to where you want to go to where you are now.
Right.
And I said to him, I said, I was a little bit disappointed with the goals that I had set for myself.
They weren't aggressive enough, or?
I thought they were. Some would say that I way underestimated what I could do.
Yeah.
I thought I'm quite the conservative when it comes to, I'm not going to overshoot myself.
You're like, I want to meet these goals.
I want to meet. I actually want to meet these
Yeah.
goals. Yeah. And so, without going into much financial detail, I, I, um, I was off by a year. I put, I want to have this much in sales this year, double that this year, and double that again the next year.
Mm-hmm.
But what I found was I didn't make that first year goal.
Hmm.
But when I was sitting there with these girls at the table, I said, but y'all, thinking back, I did reach one of the goals that back then I didn't even think I'd reached that one.
Right. Oh,
And so I was like, I am so surprised. You know, this really does work, you
yeah,
know, and proper planning, and it's hard work. It takes time.
that's
You,
right.
you've got to be in there, devoted to learning new things, asking questions. And the other thing that was very special to me
Mm.
is that with those meetings, Wendell,
Mm-hmm.
who was the
The
person, the
facilitator. Yeah.
facilitator, he said during one of the meetings, he says, "You will never be alone again."
That's right.
And I mean, I just lost it. I started crying on on the computer, and everybody was like, "Well, she is losing it." But it was after going through the divorce and everything, and literally living alone again. I thought this really means a lot, and this
Yeah.
will stay with me forever,
Yeah.
and it
The
has.
and the hat, the community. And
The
that
community.
so you were 2020, right? Your
Mhm.
cohort
Mhm.
roughly.
Yeah, roughly.
And
Yeah.
I was 2018. It was interesting when I went through it. There were several, because I own a marketing agency, and my background is marketing and market planning and branding and advertising. So um, I, I've done it for other companies, but I'd never really done it, from. I wasn't sure if I was uh, creating a business to be scalable. Um,
Right.
because I'd only, 2.5 decades, 3 decades, I was working for other people. And Nika, who was at the time, she was kind of the recruiter, and she's like, Jennifer, you thought about being a part of it? And I was like, I don't know. I said, um, do I qualify? Do I, am I, what would I find value in it? Worry about it. I said, but look, I feel really alone and isolated. I've been in this business now. By that time, it was like 5 or 6 years, 5 years. I had been running the marketing agency. I said, I sat down when I first started the company. I built a 3-year strategic plan for what I thought, was my business plan. It was my business strategy. And I said, it's interesting when I reflected back before I started the cohort I looked at that 3-year plan, and to your point, it's like I created all these SMART goals. It was like I didn't hit, like I hit the overarching like financial goal
Mhm.
in 3 years, not the 1 year, the 2 year, but it was like that end game of like I was where I wanted to be at 3 year. I was where I wanted to be at 5 year by that time. But how I got there was like nowhere like what I was trying to predict, or like the mini milestones of like these are the tasks, the activities that I felt like I needed to do to get to that financial was, I mean,
Exactly.
it was like, how the hell did I even guess this? Because none of this happened. Um, it was way
Exactly.
over here. And then that's what I told Nick. I said, that's what I'm interested in. I said, I don't know what I'm doing is right from a operations, a business, setup. And I don't know what I don't know. And also I just like, I don't even know who to talk to. I said, because I feel like when I reach out to people, I didn't, within some of the networking, I didn't feel like it was safe. They were not safe spaces.
Right.
Um,
I get that.
to have conversations that I felt like people related to me. And that was my aha when I, being in that cohort. And I know I was not alone. I never felt alone again. And I
Mhm.
haven't since. I cherish um that the community that we have, the minority, especially the women in that community, but just all the minority owned businesses, it is very precious to me.
Very,
Um,
very.
and and a lot of it is, when I did the 3-year plan, we hit all that, but it was like my lessons learned there was, all right, I was doing about 80% right. But here was the 20%. But you're right, like it's that discipline of hitting those milestones, it's the understanding and the given the tools, right? That you can just now apply. But I reflect on my 3-year, I just keep updating it. To me, it's a living, breathing document that I reflect on annually.
Yes.
I love that thing. But okay, so if you the most rewarding, as you started like reconnecting with your cohort and all that, what's so your aha moment was the community. What was your biggest oh shit moment?
Oh, and it happened a lot, and that was
It's like
daily,
the daily oh
the
shits.
daily. Oh
Like
shit! Here
what
we
have
go.
I gotten into?
Bend over. Sorry.
Sorry, we have an E rating. It's all right.
I think it was that my times I felt like that's when I had I would have moments of the imposter syndrome,
Yes,
which is very,
it's
very
very real.
real.
So real. Yeah.
And I'm like, what am I about to say? What am I about to do that would be interesting to somebody? And am I an expert at this?
Am I good enough to be in this room?
Am I good enough to be in the
Yeah.
room?
And you are. You
Oh,
know that now, right?
thank
Yeah,
you.
like
Oh, I still have my oh shits.
yeah. I love it.
It gets
So
better every day, though.
that's right. I think I said this in the panel of I have those little like moments of anxiety, and
Yes.
I've kind of retrained my brain to go, oh my gosh, I caught the you just need 20 seconds of being brave or 60
Yeah.
seconds to be brave. And you got to talk yourself like, this is only going to be a 30-second conversation. It's going to be painful. It's
You
just 30
just gotta
seconds.
do it.
It's just got to do it. And I just got to be brave for 30 seconds. And after that, I can go drink.
Exactly. Well, and the other thing to this that I mentioned on the panel is you would never know that I have anxiety
Yeah.
from going
We cover it.
to a network event.
That's right.
It freaks me out.
I know. Somebody was telling me, they're like, you love it. And I said, no.
Oh no.
It takes every bit of energy.
It does take energy.
Takes energy and
bravery.
Bravery, and it just drains, but you got to do it. But naturally, I would just be a wallflower of like, I'll just sit back here. I like to people watch and observe. And I'm not a really good small, but I mean, one of the things I started OrangeWIP, and really, because I love the community, I just am trying to make it a bigger community. But doing this podcast has helped me, because I love the conversations with other founders. I feel every time it's like our journeys, we all have the same ahas and the oh shits, as in we have them, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the journeys we have, it's just so relatable, and it's less isolating, and I love them because I'm not a small talker. I dive deep. It's like we get into the childhood dreams and anxieties, and I'll find all your secrets.
I know.
Not on the
That's
podcast,
what I love about
not
you.
publicly. but yeah, you don't realize, because you're playing the part, right, of the founder. So you gotta, all right, I'm gonna ask you, what do you think? So you had, this, it wasn't ever a dream of you to be a business owner and an entrepreneur.
No.
Like you were literally like, oh, shit, how am I gonna, you described like, how do I survive?
It was
right?
survival. There was no passion there.
Yeah, it was just pure survival.
I wasn't passionate about safety apparel then, but
you're like, now you are.
I
It's
am
funny.
now.
Yeah,
I know. But
you're
I mean,
I
there
love
I
it.
was. What the heck am I going to do? It was survival. I had to figure out how I was going to survive.
Yeah.
And that's a scary place to be in. But I tell you, just learning, never stop learning. The more
Yeah.
you learn, um, the more you're comfortable with that information, and
That's
the
right.
more you can connect it in conversations. And next thing you know, you're on a podcast.
That's
Woo!
right. You're on a panel. You're
I'm on
on.
a panel.
You're
Yeah.
going to events.
Yeah.
I say this. This was one of the I don't know where I heard it, but it's a quote from somebody. But I've applied it like in my everyday thinking of um, every lesson. Daily. Like I think I learned something daily. It's either a gift, um, or it is it's a lesson to be learned, right? So everything,
100%.
no matter what barrier, I've got to go, what is this thing trying to teach me? Is it literally a gift that I just need to celebrate? Or I need to take it and go, somebody's trying to tell me something and I need to learn from it.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know if you were planning on asking me this, but
Oh, I will. But you go ahead.
I was just going to just mention about the fact that how important it is if you're having a bad day to recognize it and appreciate that you're not going to have a good day every day. You're not going to perform at this level every day, and to just acknowledge that, do whatever it is that makes your mind set free. And I think I've told you, mine is I get on the computer and play puzzles.
Yeah.
Anything to clear my mind out.
That's right.
And anything to keep me out of the bedroom, so I'm not getting depressed and down. I make myself stay up and
empty your head. Yeah.
Empty the head and acknowledge that you're going to have a bad day here or there, because if you don't, you're going to get burned out.
Right.
If you do, you're going to excel so much more the next day.
That's
by
right.
Taking that break.
Do you think that's a myth that people have about starting their own business, that it's like happy days all the time? Or
God, I hope not. I
know.
Don't think that.
That's why I was like, we talk about, and I think we talked about at that panel of there's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. But I think with founders, as we're building a business, it's like our happy days can be like way better than anything you've ever seen or felt in your entire life. It's like the euphoria of the wins.
It is.
And then, but your bad days are like the lowest of the lows. It's like we come into these extremes sometimes. And so I think we also find sometimes it's hard when we're in the middle to recognize even a good win, like a small win that we probably need to celebrate, or like we're getting better at jumping through the little hills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. And I think too, when you have a bad day and you do recognize that it's important not to beat yourself up for taking time for yourself.
That's right. Because it's about
don't beat yourself up.
Mental, you got to have mental health. And I think, I say it's not just mental health of like, you've got to do self-love and self-care, because it's hard. This isn't a 4-day work week.
Yeah.
Like you're going to think about time and money differently.
Yes.
But really understanding, like you said yourself, like you're going to have that. How do you overcome those? What do you need to do to clear those? Because it's about developing that mental toughness. It's that building that resiliency. I call it the little band. If we're all rubber bands, our heads, like how do we make sure that we're the stretchiest?
Exactly. That's a great way to think about it.
But it's about being mental tough, because you've got to be ready for those dips. The dips and the valleys.
And don't give up.
And don't give up.
If you choose to give up at some point, plan it out a long time before. Don't let one day make you give up.
That's right. But I think that you're like, you've got to be, you just got to know you're going to have some good days and you're going to have some bad days.
Absolutely.
I think I was sharing like, what do I do to help clear, like you do puzzles. I just I have a Tumblr, which I know is so silly, and I'm in different fandoms. I write.
Really?
I do little like fan fiction and drabbles.
I
That
did
a
not
that a
know.
lot of people, nobody know. Well, I don't really
I
publicize
love
that,
that.
but that's kinda like my release because 'cause I'm just getting back into I just turned to creativity because being a business owner, you're so much in, like, math and accounting or
And
structure and
procedures.
procedures or
Yep.
dealing with, and working with
Processes.
people and all that. So it's like, how do I just, tune out? And then I think, and then I do and I've started this, this is recent for me in the last, I would say year, maybe two, is I do the nightly journal and it's so
Mhm.
simple. It's just, I do a daily 3 of what was my most joyous moment? What was the moment that caused me the most anxiety or is
Yeah.
causing me anxiety? Like, because we get into that of like, "Shoot, I shouldn't have had that conversation. I shouldn't have said that," or "Man, that was an awful moment." Or to think of like, I call them the ghosts. They kind of creep in, but it's like I just write them out because when I get them out of my head, it clears my head and it makes me sleep better. And then I end with, what am I looking forward to the most tomorrow? Those are
Yeah.
my 3 things.
It's
And then
fantastic.
it's just fun to kind of like, because sometimes it's repeated, and then you
Yeah.
start recognize like, God, I was worried about that 6 months ago. Man,
Isn't it it's
I've
so
had
amazing
I've
to
had
go
50
back.
moments like that, and I've, like, rocked it.
Yeah.
Those bad moments. Those aren't bad moments anymore.
You just have to get through them,
Yeah,
and like you said, you learn a lesson.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the
Uh,
highs are so high,
oh, yeah. Glorious.
especially as an owner, entrepreneur. When you have a win-win, oh my gosh, it is euphoric.
That's
You're
right.
right.
And to have and that's why I was like, the community that we've built is so precious because it's like, who do you share it with? Because sometimes you wanna share with your team, but there's
Yeah,
some things that are, like, so silly of, I don't wanna share that, like, with my greater team, but this is
yeah,
so, but I need to share it with somebody.
exactly, exactly.
Um, okay, if you could hit rewind on anything, Laura, what would you do differently?
With my
Yeah,
business.
with your business.
I would have started earlier,
Ah,
and I mentioned this in the panel too. I think I might be a little ahead of the times for female
mm,
safety apparel. So I would have liked to have been in the position to start the company, say 3 years before that. Because
okay.
right now where I am is it's coming along and we're getting there and people are saying, "Oh my gosh, yes, 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 this
Yeah,
is what we need and inclusion and everything." And um but there and I think I said this at a point. There's you can't convince as it is now
that's right.
say a big construction company to change all of their uniforms
That's right.
to you because you sell um, female safety apparel
Mm,
for their maybe handful of females that work there.
right.
So I think I'm
You're
just
just
I'm just
you're at the early stage, you're at the
at the
early
early
adopter,
stage. Yeah.
but that's a good position to be in.
It's good, and like I said at the meeting, if I do anything, it's I'm making an effort to get the word out there.
Mm,
Even if I don't reap the benefits from it down the road, somebody will.
that's right. That's
So,
right.
I'm good with that.
So if you could pick 2 things to change about your business for the moving in the future, what would they be?
I would like to hire somebody to
Mm.
completely handle my social media and
You're like, "Take that off my plate."
just take that off my plate, and I would like to hire somebody who would, do bookkeeping.
Mm,
I would like to focus more on one of the things I've really wanted to do is, and I'm just not big enough to do it yet,
yeah.
is I would like to go to tech schools or
Hmm.
trade schools, and when they have someone graduate, I'd like to have them with a set of safety apparel in their size that fits. I
Uh,
handed it to them, at the end of the graduation stage or something,
yeah.
because I feel like, they go through the classes, they learn their trade,
Yeah.
and then they graduated, they get their certifications. It's like, what do I do now? What do I wear to an interview? Can I even get on site to because I don't have
Oh,
steel toe
because I don't
shoes?
have that. Oh, yeah.
And so I would really like to be able to offer that to a graduate or somebody who's just received certification, that they have PPE from head to foot. So that's one less thing they have to worry about
Uh, I
to
think
go get their job.
I think we need to manifest this, Laura, because
I don't I
I
have
think
done
I think some of your manufacturers, I think you could partner with them and they would work with you to make that happen.
I never thought about it from a manufacturer's point
Yeah, I think
of view. That's a
being
great idea.
distributed through you, I think you organize that program, um, and develop those partnerships. I can't imagine that wouldn't be something that they wouldn't want to support you and give you gift you those things to gift to those
Wouldn't that be
graduates.
wonderful?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be wonderful?
that's right. They would love it.
They would love it.
Yeah,
I just never thought about going about it that way.
yeah. There you
Huh,
go.
there
There
I
you
go.
go. We're gonna manifest it. We're gonna make it happen.
That sounds great. Wow,
For
what a
anyone out
great
there listening,
question.
I know. We're gonna get, um. So okay. What do you do? w- Is there something that is describe yourself or tell us about something that you do that's not on your LinkedIn, it's not on your resume that would really surprise us?
I lived in England for 13, 14 years.
Really? What
I
part?
did. Well, I started out in the Cotswolds
Okay.
and then moved to Manchester.
Oh wow.
All family did, through Milliken. We were
Ah,
one of the first few expats, and we had 3 kids, and my second son, he was 6 at the time, and so they all grew up. They all had British accents, back then,
and
but
you're
my
like,
second
I've got this big Southern accent,
I
and
know.
and you have children with.
People used to follow me around in the grocery store when I lived there just to hear me talk, and I just kinda got used to it. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Let's go get some pickles," you know? But my second son never moved back. He met the most gorgeous English young lady, and my 2 grandkids are there,
Ah, are
and,
they in Manchester?
they're in Manchester.
Yes. Oh, so you could
So
do
my
you
s
go
second son
visit?
still lives there. I go visit every Christmas. I wanna spend a lot more time over there.
Oh,
I can work from pretty much anywhere,
yeah.
with my laptop. It's just my laptop. Um, and so, yeah, I want to spend some more time with them, as much as I can, because my other kids one's in Austin, Texas, and one's in Pittsburgh. So, we're spread
You're
out
spread out.
everywhere.
Well, at
Yeah,
least they're in fun places to visit.
exactly, exactly. So that's one thing that people don't really know. Uh,
I would have never even guessed that.
yeah,
That is
yeah.
fantastic. What else do you do for your free time? I
I
mean,
spent
besides puzzles and stuff like that, what else do you do?
Well, about a month ago, I had an English bulldog who was 14 and
Oh,
had to put her down. But I also had a dog that was gifted to me by my children as a rescue when I got divorced, so I would not be alone. And they got it off of YFF Pet of the Week, and just surprised me with this beautiful puppy and said, "Here's a lap dog, but she's 50 pounds now." And anyway, so but the Daisy we had to put down recently, just absolute broken hearted over that. And then
No.
there's Stella, who is a part lab, part pit mix, and she is going through the grieving process big time.
Oh, she
So
lost her best friend.
the best friend, I mean, they were tight. So what I've been doing is going on long walks with her, playing outside. There's this great place, and I guess I'll plug it, but it's called the Unleashed Dog Bar.
Where
And
is
so
that?
it's kind of behind Haywood Mall
Okay.
in Greer.
Yeah.
Holy cow. It is so fun. It's a bar, but there's an outdoor playing area.
For
You
all the dogs.
literally unleash your dog in there. They have a dog swimming pool in the shape of a bone, and the dogs go crazy, and you sit there and have a beer.
We're gonna have to take our dog. We've got a
You got you
we've
got
got a
to.
115-pound Bernese Mountain Dog.
Oh, it
Some
is so
I don't know
fun.
how, like, he's friendly, maybe too friendly.
Well, these you never know. I was a nervous wreck taking Stella the first time, but I thought you know again, just like I do my personal
Yeah.
life, my business life, you just got
You're
to
like,
try it.
well, let's go
And
see.
yeah, and
You can,
it's been wonderful.
that's fun. So he's getting over the morning
Slowly,
slowly.
yeah. Still not eating as well, but that's all right. We'll get there.
One day at a time. That's
Yes.
right. What do you think is the best piece of advice you've ever received from anybody that really influenced your own decision making? That you like really took to heart?
Ethics. You got there.
Yeah.
There's only the right way to the ethical way to do something, and you can never get in trouble. I'm saying, Mama would say, you can never get in trouble for being too kind.
That's right.
And I translate that into my business and my work ethic, because you have nothing to worry about if you follow by the rules.
If you're doing the right thing by other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say, like, walk in their shoes, and if I'm doing right by them, it's all good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do the right thing.
Do the right thing. And now you probably already answered this, but if you had to sum up your journey, your entrepreneurial journey, what would your word be? Like how I think I said my word is serendipitous. I didn't plan for it. I fell into it, and just everything aligned of me starting the business. And it's grown from there. But yeah, I always like to ask this question.
I like the word drive.
Mm.
I had the drive, no matter what it was, the drive to stay alive, the drive to carry on, even though there were obstacles, the drive to learn new things. So that would be my word, is drive.
Yeah, drive. It's a great word. And it's funny, I don't know if I told you, like this is, I don't know, almost our 100th, but we've interviewed, hundreds and hundreds of different founders. Everyone comes up with a different word.
Really?
Everybody has a different word, and I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Great. Well, Laura, we're out of time. Like
where did that time go?
I know. It's just, it's just us talking.
I know. I love it.
So how do you want people to connect with you, connect with Iron Elk? What is the best way for people to get to know you or the company better?
Well, my email is laura@ironelk.com, and that's LAURA at IRONELK.com. I am on Facebook, and I am on LinkedIn. And I encourage I'm very much into Rotary. The Rotary Club of Greer.
Yeah.
If you want to know Laura, then come see me there.
All right.
Because that is something I'm really passionate about. It's important to give back to the community, and this group in particular has a lot of fun while doing it.
Wow, that
so
Rotaries, the Rotaries. I forgot one more question. I do have one more question. Where did Iron Elk, the name, come from?
My son came up with that. So
okay.
From living in Manchester, it was an industrial area. and he always thought the name Iron was showed strength,
Right.
and the elk was a strong, magnificent animal as well. And he just put them together, and our logo is fantastic. I
Yeah.
mean, it's got the elks
It's
and
got the elk. I love it. I was like, wonder what, yeah, I should have asked that earlier.
it's simply that. It started out as a promotional products company because my son, and you talk about journeys.
Yeah.
My son started the company as a promotional products
Okay.
company. He had an accident and had a traumatic brain injury, and his life just was put on hold for a year, but he's made a
Okay.
full recovery.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
during all this time is when I started, well, I started being alone, to put it in a nice way, and started thinking of what I can do to survive. And
Right.
we just kind of partnered. So he's 49% owner, and he doesn't like do any of the day to day.
Right.
But he calls me. He's 38, and he calls me. He's like, you got a little white angel on this shoulder, you got a red devil on this shoulder. And it's like, Mom, you need to slow your roll a bit, Mama. He keeps me.
He keeps you in line.
He keeps me in line, and he's very creative. My gosh.
Oh.
So yeah,
Well, I'm glad that he is recovered, because all that happening all at once, Laura, that's a testament to your resilience and your drive. I mean, seriously, that's a celebration all in itself.
It's a whole different thing. It is.
Now, again, people can find Laura at ironelk.com. And I appreciate you hanging out with us today, Laura. It was fantastic.
It was my pleasure. I forgot to mention the website is just ironelk.com.
Okay. That's easy.
Yeah. You can see all our products.
See everything there. And for everyone listening or watching us, thank you for joining us. This podcast episode will be published this coming Sunday and available on all podcast platforms. So subscribe, like, and comment, and share this great content so we build a more connected community. Hello Chaos is one of the many resources brought to you by OrangeWIP. That's OrangeWIP, WIP for work in progress. OrangeWIP is a multimedia company dedicated to serving founders and entrepreneurs in affiliate cities. We are 100% free and in the 3 areas of South Carolina, the upstate, the Midlands, and the Low Country. So find your city and enjoy the great content. Check out the new edition that we're going to be dropping this coming Sunday. Actually, it's going to be we're celebrating Hello Chaos, the podcast, and mentioning the word journeys that we have interviewed and all the various words. That's what we're going to be celebrating in this coming edition. Great content, great stories. Go subscribe, support us. It's fantastic. If you'd like to be a guest on our podcast or support us, just send an email at hello@orangewip.com. And thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you again next week.